Welcome to Coffee Breaks with Nebraska Strong Recovery Project, where we learn about building resilience after disaster. Just a quick note, as an outreach program, we work with public and private organizations, nonprofits, government and non-government entities, and religious organizations. We do not endorse any services, organizations, or entities. Also, as we've discussed in other episodes, these videos are applicable to anyone, not just survivors of disaster. Today's video is an excellent example of that. I'm joined by Jose, who is going to be giving us a brief tour of the homeowners insurance world. So if you or someone you know owns a home and maybe could use a little bit of a brush up on what that insurance actually entails, because let's be real, adulting is kind of hard sometimes. Please share this with them. We're going to have a lot of good information. So with that, Jose, thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
So great to have you. So, homeowners insurance.
Yeah.
Help.
Yeah, it's an animal, right? We'll break it up into four easy parts.
Okay.
Okay. The basics. We'll stick with the basics.
I like basics.
Basics. Yeah.
Basics are good.
So homeowners insurance, I always tell people it's there for catastrophe. So
Mhm.
what's catastrophe? Catastrophe: fire, theft, tornado, wind and hail.
Okay.
Tornado, wind and hail, we get a lot in Nebraska, right?
Yes, we do.
So,
that's real.
Beyond that, there's additional, but those are the main ones that you'll see, that you'll hear of.
Okay. So, flood insurance, that does not come with your basic homeowners insurance policy, correct?
Correct. So flood insurance is separate. Flood insurance is not included in any standard homeowners insurance policy, okay, with no carrier. It's something that you as an individual will have to purchase through the federal government, okay,
Gotcha.
because it's federally regulated. So depending on where you live, depending on if the bank requires you to purchase it, you're going to have it. And obviously with the flooding from last year, a lot of people, they found that out the hard way.
Right.
So really understanding what is and what isn't covered, but yes, flood insurance is not included in any home insurance.
Okay. So whether you have your regular homeowners insurance and flood insurance, or just regular homeowners because you're not in the floodplain, what does insurance cover in general?
Yeah, two parts.
Okay.
Two parts. So the first part is going to be the structure, right? So we always want to make sure we have enough money that we're going to cover the home. So if a fire occurs, we want to make sure we have enough dollars there or coverage to rebuild it in today's materials.
Gotcha.
So you'll get the same home if we have the right coverage, right? You'll get the same home, but it'll be a newer home built for today. Second part is, well, what's inside the home?
Gotcha.
Couches, your clothes, electronics, list kind of goes on from there. So knowing, do you have enough coverage to rebuild, and do you have enough coverage to replace all your personal belongings inside?
Gotcha. So really insuring the amount of the home, you're looking at the cost to rebuild, not necessarily what my purchase price for the home was.
And that's a good point, because I actually get that a lot. So replacement cost and market value are two separate things. So I can, for insurance, we are only insuring the cost to rebuild the home, which also includes sales tax, the permit fees, labor costs. A lot of people will say, well, wait a minute, my home only costs $150,000, but you're saying I have to insure for $200,000. Those are two separate things, because the market value of a home can go up. We'll use today, for example, right? In this market, homes are selling for much more.
Yes. Yes,
Which what occurs is that all the values of all the homes around the area go up. Same thing. If the homes are selling much lower, let's say next year, decreases the value of that home. So market value doesn't take into consideration what the replacement cost is, and vice versa. So
okay. So with belongings inside the home, what should what should we be aware with that? Are there caps? What does that look like?
Yeah. So special built-in limits. So let's say you have a $10,000 ring. Where's your $10,000 ring?
Oh, it's right
Yeah,
here.
there you go. Okay. But let's say if you have
If I had big bling.
if you had it, then we'd be insuring it. But if you had a $10,000 ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
With a lot of the insurance carriers, there's a special limit. There's a max limit that we're going to cover it up to.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell individuals, if you do have something that's worth, let's say, over $3,000, right? Let's schedule it. So you're going to pay an additional premium,
Mm-hmm.
but we're going to insure it for whatever the appraised value.
Gotcha.
So even though you may say, hey, it's $10,000, well, you need to prove it,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can't just go, let's say, to some jewelry store, purchase a $10 ring, tell me it's $10,000. You need to prove it to me. So,
It's really pretty, so I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, so that's kind of the basics of what things are covered, questions you should ask when you're talking to your agent about what coverage you have. What advice do you have in regards to what people should be aware of in a disaster? So something's going wrong.
Yeah. Know that you're always going to be your first responder.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are afraid to start any type of work because can I do it? Can I not do it? Is it covered? Is it not covered?
Right.
We all have cell phones in this day and age, right? So it's easy just to document something. Take a video, snap some pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell clients, because you are your first responder, minimize any further damage. So if you have a huge hole because a tree fell into your house, right? Try to tarp it up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe get a contractor to come out and try to, patch it up for what they can at the moment. Say the receipt, we'll put money back in your pocket at the end of the day. As long as we can see what the damage was prior to you doing any type of
Mm-hmm.
work, and the adjuster can look at that too, it should be fairly easy from there.
Okay.
So
saving receipts brings up a big point of just kind of notes and tracking things.
Yeah.
So I believe there was one town that was affected with the flooding where they actually ended up cleaning up a little bit too soon when FEMA was coming through.
Mm.
So if you're making those phone calls, checking on what do I do? Is it okay to proceed? Is it not? Do you have any advice for that?
yeah. So one thing that we learned even with FEMA, obviously, a lot of people weren't able to get into their home or have access to it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is too, a lot of people wanted to clean up. FEMA wants to see what is,
Mm-hmm.
what the current damage is. Well, if you clean everything up, how can you provide any type of assistance?
Right.
From there. So, in regards to receipts too, I always tell people, even just any type of belongings that you don't have, saving receipts. You can have a box full of receipts. I always say do videos,
Yeah.
flash drive.
Oh, that's
Just
great.
go around your house and just kind of videotape everything that you got, right?
Mhm.
So if you have that $10,000 ring or whatever, right? Something like
All
that.
the bling.
Yeah, all the bling that you got, record that and just do a video.
Yeah,
Sometimes
just do a basic video, what you
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
And then would it be wise just if you're talking to someone and they say, yes, you're good to do this, document that in some way
Absolutely.
as well? That way, if later your insurance agent's like, why'd you do that? Well, I talked to so-and-so
Yeah.
on this day.
Yeah, absolutely. So I always say, make a log. When that call was made out, who you spoke to. Email's always nice. I always like
Mhm.
email. Don't do text. don't do text. As much as people love to do text, it's much easier to kind of track if you have an email or something.
Yeah.
Some type of log.
That's good. So, Jose, last question. With Nebraska Strong, we really focus on the emotional impact, the impact of stress during and after disaster. How can you relate just understanding more about your homeowners insurance to the areas of emotional impact and stress?
Just self-awareness. Being self-aware of what is and what isn't covered.
Mm-hmm.
And really focusing on the risk appetite, because everybody has a different risk appetite.
Right.
How much risk am I wanting to take on as far as a homeowner versus, me wanting to pass that risk on to the insurance carrier. So everybody's situation is different.
Sure.
Maybe you're single. Maybe you're married. Maybe you have 2, 3, 6, 7 kids,
Right.
right? Who knows? So you go, and then also the finances comes into part too, right? So just really just knowing where you're at in your current situation. And we always tell people, or our clients, we always stress reviews. Do reviews, at least once a year. So if a life change does occur, you get married, you're moving, purchasing a new home, you're adding another kid into the mix, something along those lines, reach out, make sure that we have the proper coverages in place.
Love it. Awesome. Well, Jose, thank you for
Thank you.
coming and sharing your wealth of experience. 6 years. It's amazing right there. In the insurance field and just what you've experienced and learned. Have an insurance birthday party. Check in with your people, know what you've got so you don't have to deal with the stress of, I don't know what's happening, I don't know why this wasn't covered. Thank you so much, and join us next time for Coffee Breaks with Nebraska Strong Recovery Project.
Thank you.